YouTube, it's Boost Tech here, and today we're going to be looking at the second episode of the Retro Console Wars. So as you can see in front of you, there is the PlayStation 1, and this is the slim version in comparison to the old version that was on the first episode, which was the PlayStation Fat or PlayStation X, whichever you want to call it. So this is the actual slim down model. This was actually produced and manufactured and all productive in the same year in 2001. So this console is about 12 years old, and if I show you the other one by comparison, which is right here, you could just see the immense size difference between them. So we just pan round quickly, actually see if we put it on top of each other as well. There is a considerable size difference. So if we look at the front, we'll take a look at the front. As you can see, yep, you have the same two controller inputs and memory card slots, and the memory cards were compatible between both series of the console. So the old memory card I've just taken out of the PSX can fit straight into the PlayStation 1 Slim. And I've actually had this, when did I buy this? About 2003, and it still lasted quite well. So if we remove that, just put that aside, and just show you the actual front of both. So they've actually pretty much narrowed it down to just this section really, because I'm taking off these two side chunks, if you like. So if we spin it around the side, as you can see, there was these mock kind of vents, or are they actual vents? Oh, sorry, they're actual vents that were present on the actual unit of the PSX. If you look at the PS1 Slim, no vents are present whatsoever. So if we take a look at the back and take a look at the PSX, there's a whole heap of nonsense at the back that they've actually taken out, but they've probably seen that it's absolutely irrelevant. For example, this parallel 1/0 slot, which is pretty, I mean, it's very rare if you're going to find them cartridges. I've tried to actually have a look around to actually purchasable, and I've really struggled to find any. You have this also serial 1/0 port, which I've never ever understood or seen the reason for. Many people don't really use male-to-male composite, so they've taken that off just to save space and money, I guess. As you can see, the AV slot is still present and the power input is there. However, on the PlayStation Slim, they've narrowed it down to the general circular AC input rather than the double AC input shown here. And the only thing that's really the same on these two units is this, is the AV multi-SCART, which is pretty much generic on all PlayStation consoles. So if we swivel them both round again, you can see that the actual mechanism for both the opening trays are exactly the same. So on the PlayStation 1 Slim, you just simply press that button there and the lid flips open at quite a much faster pace than the actual old PSX, which takes, a longer time to open. They've also got rid of the reset button that was present on the PlayStation X, which was here, which was basically reset the console. Now to reset the PlayStation 1, all you just redo, if it was on, for example, you just hit it, it'll basically just turn it off and you just turn it back on again. I guess they've just done that just to save money, save time, and also just to slim down the actual console in itself. But apart from that, the actual layout is still the same. It's just that what they've actually just taken out that's, been the fundamental difference. So that's really the PlayStation 1. It was a pretty simple unit, There was just the one output for the AV multi. All it supported was the composite unit. There was nothing else. There was no male-to-male or anything like that. It was just a very simple unit. And all the vents, instead of being on the sides, well, kind of on the sides, on the side bases and basically under here. And it's also much quieter than the actual PSX, so it's a really quiet console. You barely hear any noise from it. The only actual noise that you hear is the disk drive, and that's it. There's no processing noises that you might be able to hear from it. So that's really the actual PlayStation 1 and how it's actually developed over the years, in the last, in 6 years after this release of the actual PlayStation X. So apart from that, apart from those ones that I've mentioned, all the games are compatible. The interface was still the same and the gameplay was still the same. So if you want to see the actual gameplay, I know it was a bit glitchy, I'll send you a link to that video so you can have a look at that. So this has been Boost Tech here. Thank you for watching. Rate, comment, subscribe, and have a pleasant day. Bye for now. However, guys, one thing I forgot to mention is that with the release of the new PlayStation 1 in 2001, basically they actually, I think this was the very first time they actually came up with the analog stick controllers, which were not present on the PlayStation X. They only became present on the PlayStation 1. I'm sure, I'm not 100%, but I'm sure it was the first console to support the actual vibrate function for a Sony console, as well as supporting the analog sticks and the analog on-off button, which is quite useful now because, as you can see, all the Sony PlayStation consoles released after that all use the dual stick analog rather than just the directional keys, which I think is a bit more feasible. So that's something I forgot again, just like I did in the other video. So, yep, thank you for watching.